Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So it's 6:55, and by sharp 7, we'll be starting the event. I would like to request everyone to kindly settle down on your seats, and we shall start it in the next 5 minutes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure to have you all in this glorious evening. So with the kickstart of this event, in the words of business magnate Steve Wynn, human resource isn't a thing we do, it's a thing that runs our business. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, galaxy of intellectuals, honorable guests, are on the dais, off the dais, and my dear friends. This evening, we have this glorious opportunity for us to mingle with each other, with our fellow delegates, and our honorable guest. Yes, we have gathered here for the HR Conclave 3.0 32nd HR Strengths Meet organized by HR Success Talk and Maharishi Markandeshwar deemed to be University, Mulana. Let's kick off this lovely evening here together. Lamp lighting is a symbol of auspiciousness. Lighting lamp is our culture. To start the program, ladies and gentlemen, may we invite our all dignitaries now to please proceed for lamp lighting. As a customary in the part of the world, we commence any auspicious occasion with the divine's blessing, and the light is the testament to ensure the positive energy for our occasion. Yes, I would like to invite all my dignitaries to please come on the stage and do the honor of lamp lighting. Let's put our hand together. Thank you, sir. Thanks for doing the honor. Mr. Naganagowda S.J. sir, thank you. Mr. Gurucharan Singh sir, thank you. Thanks for doing the honor, sir. Dr. Deba Bratadash, thank you, sir. Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. I would like to request all the dignitaries to occupy the front seats. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, it's my pleasure to introduce our honorable founder and global CEO of HR Success Talk and a versatile and a thought leader in the field of human resource. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Govind Singh Negi onto the stage for his welcome address and introducing HR Success Talk to all of us. Mr. Negi, an HR business leader, the blogger, the social activist, and investor with dual masters in the computer application and business administration from Symbiosis University, Pune, and having 20 plus years of rich experience in the field of talent management. He has been awarded as HR Leader by the Great Place to Work, Top 100 HR Tech Mind by WHRD Congress, Best CHRO by WE Matters, and Top 20 India Talent Champions and L&D Leader by CHRO Summit. Currently, he is designated as Head of Talent, Europe and India for the global IT company called Three Pillar Global, having a global presence in 8 countries: US, India, Romania, Mexico, Costa Rica, Czech Republic, Canada, and UK. He is also the founder of HR social group called HR Success Talk, which has 150,000 members. He enjoys guiding young HR professionals to their growth. He is also the founder of a reputed NGO called Amrita Devi Foundation that works for skill development and employment in Uttarakhand. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hand together and welcome Mr. Negi. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Nipun. Good evening to all of you. And it's a pleasure to be here in this evening with so many business leaders who have joined from all over Bangalore. Few faces I'm familiar with, few faces I believe I make good friends today after the conference, and that's what my hope. Today I have been given the responsibility to represent HR Success Talk to all of you. So I'll use my 5 minutes to take you through and walk you through what this community is all about. And so that in case you want to also participate in the growth of this community, you can do so. Well, as you can see, HR Success Talk is a community of 150,000, and in Hindi we say 1.5 lakh members across the globe. And these members are not only HR leaders, but also business leaders. We have a presence in 6 countries, as you can see: India, UAE, Ghana, Saudi Arabia, Philippines, and Costa Rica. And few days back, we also signed up our new chapter in Iraq. And I would like to talk about a little bit of my experience when I was talking to the president for our Iraq chapter. My first question to her was that, do you think we should have a HR community in Iraq? And she told me that I think one of the reasons I would like to connect with this community is to tell the world that Iraq is far away from the war now. And I think I'm doing this job for you today, that I can tell that Iraq is also coming as one of the nations where the businesses are blooming. So that's for Iraq. Moving forward, if you want to join our community, what is that you will get out of it? I think the first thing which we always talk about is sharing and learning. This is the one thing which you get when you interact, whether it is a casual conversation, and I was having a little bit of casual conversation before this conclave today, and I could learn many things, whether it is about business, whether it is about challenges in talent, and whether it is about many things which I heard a very different and diverse opinion, because it depends upon the industry you come from, the struggle you are having. So sharing and learning at any stage is something which you will get. You can also find coaches and mentors, and I always say that you can have more than one mentors in your life. I do have 5 to 6. So if you want to find somebody who can be your mentor, this is the platform. But at the same time, and for this audience here, I would say this is a great opportunity for you to find mentees. We are in the stage of the life when we are ready to give back to the society. And one of the ways we can give back to the society is to mentor people who are at the stage which we have already gone through. And we can tell them what they can do right, which we might have not done. The last and the most important thing is the relationship and networking which you get out of this community and participating and being part of this community. I would like to call this example of Mr. Kautur. We met in Udaipur, one of the university event, and today we are meeting here. So from Udaipur to Bangalore, the relationship works like this, right? You can meet anywhere, you find familiar faces, you feel energy to talking to them. But not only that, there are many other things which you get value out of this community. People who are young might get a lot of job opportunities. You might find somebody who's very great and you want that person to be part of your team. If you are into business opportunity, entrepreneur, self-employed, you might find those opportunities for businesses here. And the most important thing, that you find advice for your career development. So these are the examples which I would give that when you be part of that. This is our social media presence. I take a lot of pride in saying that we are very, very, very good in our social media. Today this event is live on multiple platforms, and I know it's gonna go viral in HR and business community, because there is a social media team of volunteers which is working very hard to make sure that this goes not only in India, but globally. Imagine this is being watched by a potential audience of 1.5 lakh across the world. So my call out, search for us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere you want to, and do like, subscribe us there. This is our vision. The core of why HR Success Talk is there. The vision of HR Success Talk is to bring HR leaders and business leaders across the world at one platform so that we can solve talent-related business problems and make the organizations a better place to work. That's what our vision is. And how do we do that? Look at this wheel which we use to make that happen. There are multiple things we do to achieve our vision. And I'll take you through one by one. During COVID, we started webinars. We don't do them now because we feel that it is a lot of hard work, but there are better ways to connect. So we have stopped doing webinars, but these are the great ways. We are open to them. We have put them on hold. And we have done a lot of webinars during the COVID period of time. The one we are focusing now is our HR conferences. And today, we are celebrating our 32nd HR Stings meet. And you can see some glimpse of our previous events which we have done at multiple places. HR Success Talk, by the way, is 11 years old community. We celebrated our 11th year in the month of February, and this community works for all the causes we are just mentioning. We also have a forum in case the young HR aspirants want to learn about HR and want to ask their question. They can ask from labor laws to career development to leadership, any question. We have 20,000 members in the forum. This is the online forum where people like us or whosoever at any place in the organization can answer those questions. Moving forward, we also have a YouTube channel, and the objective of the YouTube channel is to support HR professionals by learning HR functions. And so we have a lot of playlists on talent acquisition, L&D, organization development, leadership, etc. And we have people like you have volunteered to come and shoot videos in a form of a course, which is available to people who wants to learn. So this is another venture we have. Moving forward, this is a glimpse of our YouTube channel. This is one of the interesting one, and I'm sure some of you might be interested. We do Global Excellence Award in 10 different categories. From HR to business to academics to NGOs to women leadership, we recognize around 100 awardees across the world. And that's where we are going to soon launch our October award, Excellence Award, which you guys will know from our social media and you can participate. Quickly moving on, these are the glimpses of our awards, media coverage, blogs. If you are a blogger, and as long as you are not using ChatGPT, if you are a blogger and you have original thoughts, please do share this with us and we will be more than happy to publish. Just imagine the moment we approve the blog you have shared with us, it goes to 50,000 subscribers on the website straight away. This is our elite club, and many of you I would invite to be part of our elite club. It is an invite-only closed group. We have started an elite club in Bangalore. We have around 50 CXOs part of that. And if you want to be part of that, it is basically a group of CXOs where we come together, talk in a very informal setup about the challenges we are facing and try to learn from each other to solve problems. We have made a lot of impacts where people who are struggling, like I can give an example of that. During the remote work, during the COVID, I was struggling, how do I engage my remote workforce? We are a permanent work from home organization, and we were struggling with that. I got a lot of great ideas from those people who came in that particular session to tell me what are the things we can do to do so. So I think this is a learning from our peers, everybody's peer out there. Moving on quickly, these are the glimpses of our elite clubs. We also published some white papers in past. These are the college collaborations we have. This is myself. We have a pool of advisors to help us to take this community forward. Then we have our global chapters, country heads. These are the country heads in each 6 global chapters we have. This is our team, which is working day and day night. We have a volunteer base. If you are wanted to know how this community works, we have more than 100+ global volunteers who is working to make this happen, and 64% of them are women. Maybe the reason why we do so well what we do. And organization structure. Although we are a community, but we know that the community at this scale cannot be scaled without an organization structure. So we run it like a very mature organization, even if it is a community. And that's why you see a structure out there. All those volunteers, 100+ volunteers, hold some positions in this community to drive the mission. If you want to be our volunteer, you can reach out to us. With that said, thank you very much. Hope Nipun, I have done my job of making sure that I'm letting this audience know about what this community is all about. With that said, once again, thank you very much. Looking forward to meet all of you after the conference, during the conference. So pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Govind Negi, for this insightful session. So thanks a lot. We are really privileged to have your esteemed presence today with us. Okay, so without any further delay, I would like to move on to our next step, which is we will be heading for a wonderful keynote session by one of our great HR leader who is present here, and he built, upscaled, and drove sustainable HR ecosystem and anchored organizational change for about 20+ years of experience, and currently working with Chief People Officer in Tally. Yes, I'm talking about our Honorable Mr. Naganagoda SJ. Kindly have a big applause for him. His experience sprawls across sustaining established brands, handling introductional talent in international Europe, as well as setting up the entire HR function, building, minding people, provides policies and tools, and running it successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have Mr. Naganagoda SJ on the stage. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for having with us. We would look forward to have a wonderful power of knowledge from you. Thanks. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Ellarigu namaskara. I hope everybody is doing well. Friday evening. You know, what is the day today? Today, what is the day celebrated as? Lovely. I'll give you a chocolate, buddy. Today it's celebrated as a World Sleeping Day. And Mr. Rath and team, Negi and team have called me to keep you awake in the evening. A tough job, I must tell you. Right? But I'm so delighted to be here. Such a lovely audience. Friday evening, 6 o'clock, hall is packed. Surprising, the Bangalore traffic has improved. Yeah? I think I personally feel we should give a big thanks to Mr. Salim, who is managing the traffic of Bangalore city. He's doing a phenomenal job. Because it took otherwise it would have taken 1.5 hours for me to come here. I came here in 45 minutes. I think what it tells us is, if you have the right intent and the right people, and the people signed up for the intent, things will happen. Miracles do happen. And today is one such day. We all have congregated here with the purpose to learn, network, and build our intellectual wealth. I think that is the only wealth you will carry with you wherever you go. I'm making little strange statements. I think, let me quantify what I'm saying. If I ask you, what is the most wealthiest place on the earth? Any guesses? The most wealthiest place on the earth? Definitely this room for sure. So that we all feel proud. Yes, please. Yeah, speak loud. Yeah. The most richest place on the earth is what we call as a graveyard. You know why? Because all of us in our life journey have several dreams. Several dreams which are accomplished, which are unaccomplished, and they go with us. So, next time you need to look for a knowledge and gyan, where to go? Just to set the context. So, when I was preparing myself for this session today on the future of L&D, I think it's very difficult to speak on the topic future of L&D because it's unpredictable. You know why? Because the world is changing so dramatically and so rapidly. We do not know what's happening as we speak. Mr. Negi talked about the chat GPT. If you shy away from using chat GPT, probably you are the loser. Not chat GPT. There's a lady who created chat GPT. She is the architect of chat, that new sensation in the world. That shook the largest company in the world. Google is trying to figure out where they need to go. And they're scrambling. Nobody even ever thought Mr. Satya Nadella can have such a dusra come googly. Correct? It's a combination of many of these things. And the world was caught by complete surprise. So ChatGPT is the new kid in the block when it comes to learning. And this morning when I received a WhatsApp message from my friend with definitely this is not from WhatsApp University. This is with some authenticated data I'm giving you. Somebody asked ChatGPT, what are the 20 jobs that can be replaced by you? Please list down the jobs, work category, and which one belongs to the human category. So ChatGPT comes out and gives 20 jobs, saying that all these jobs I can take over from today. Scary? Yeah? Because we all are HR professionals, L&D leaders, and there is one technology kid sitting there. I don't know where ChatGPT is sitting, but it's shaking the hell out of us. Can we give a big round of applause to all of us for competing and leading this L&D world? Dinner है ना? खाना है? तो claps मांगता यार. For all of us, not for others. You know when you clap, what happens? What happens? Blood rushes, right? So you keep yourself awake and agile. And agility is one of the most valuable, most sought after skill in the L&D world today. So I have very few slides. Slides looks very colorful. I represent a company called Tally Solutions. We are known as the father of Indian product software industry. 35 years plus, one man's dream to make everybody's life simpler. Today, we literally rule the SME and the MSME market in India. We are operating in 100 plus countries, and we have an ambition to grow bigger, stronger, and wider. So on that note, let me start the ripple effect presentation to all of you. Feel free to ask questions at the end of the session. We have a networking session, as Mr. Rath said. It was very, very difficult because we have Mr. Surya here, Mr. Kotur here, and then big L&D guys. I'm finding it very scary to talk to all of you. I'm a kid actually when it comes to learning, and I want to remain like a kid all my life when it comes to learning. So please pardon me if there are any corrections to be made. I would be very happy to take your inputs. Technology in action. Is it on? Can you just move the slides, please? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's begin with limitations in our mind and heart and body. What limits us from doing some extraordinary things is that we think we have limitations. A simple example, if I give you, if you don't tell the child, then no, you can't do it. But I'll tell you, the child will be able to succeed. The example that I can give is from my own village. 2 young children fell into the well. And there were nobody around the well for about half an hour. And everybody searching for the children. And children happily figured out how to come out, and they went home. And somebody went and said, "Oh, your children have fallen down in the well." They came running, parents came running. I said, "What happened? How did you come out?" We came out. Because there was nobody to tell them you can't do it. If somebody had told them, they would have died. Are you with me? So first and foremost, as learners, as learning leaders of driving learning in our institutions, let's remove these limits in our mind, in our hearts, in our actions. The world is a playground, and that playground is rapidly expanding beyond anybody's comprehension. So get rid of the limits and the belief in your mind that there are limits. So what I want to cover, very simple because I've been given 15 minutes time. The world today, the trends and the future of learning. Okay, change is not by chance. You chose to be here today. Yes or no? Hello? You chose to be here today. It is not by chance. Just accidentally you entered Lalit Hotel. No. Right? So you must actually have a choice in life. Very important. And that's the beginning of everything in life. The world today. We were talking, me and Mr. Kotur and Negi were talking. There are several things happening in the world today. There's one war happening, Ukraine and Russia. Okay, there is another war actually happening in Britain with BBC, some documentary. And there is our good friend, Mr. Soros, is cooking something in his kitchen. Right? The world is so uncertain. It's truly, we are living a VUCA world. And we are blessed to be in this VUCA world. Honestly, I'm telling you. I don't know about our future generation, but we are leading a life of a lifetime journey that we are in today. Truly VUCA. Dynamic, interconnected, we said, world is flat, world is shrinking. Because all of us, I'll tell you, if you are given 5 minutes time, if I want you, all of you to network, you will come back to me saying that I knew this guy, I knew through this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Yes or no? World is so small. It's highly interconnected, intertwined it is. And we must realize and recognize that we are not aliens in this world. We all are very well interconnected. That's very important. And change, we should not talk about change. Change is changing so rapidly, the change doesn't know how it is changing. Yeah? Right? So, disruption is a new normal. I was reading, while coming to the Lalit Hotel, I read an article. There is this guy who did some masters in Germany from Calcutta. He got stuck in India during the lockdown. And that bug was in his mind, how do I get rid of plastic in my neighborhood? He wanted to get rid of plastic and have recyclable products. So he created some products out of bamboo. Today he is earning per day 2 crores on bamboo in unconnected territory. He studied something, now he's doing something completely different. And there are 200 corporates backing him. Disruption is the new normal, right? And today, the employees, the decisions are not made by the CEO or the CMD. It is actually, people were saying leadership is at the top. Some people said leadership is around us. Leadership is today everywhere. Leadership is the center of action. Right? It's very, very important. The challenges that we are facing, all of us in academia and the industry, employability versus employment, skilled versus unskilled, talent versus talented. We are a country of abundant talent. Are you with me? But talented are very, very, very few. And that is the challenge for all of us, including the university that we are talking today, including the industry that we are in. We all have to contribute. We can't sit in the North Star and say, please come up, please come up. We have to come down to take them with us. This has to be a collaboration. It has to be an effort, concrete effort from both sides. Plus the new animal is the new talent that we are dealing with today. The so-called, I don't know, no, we call them as alpha generation now. Millennials are over. Now it's alpha generation, right? So they don't know why they are busy, but they are very busy. They look very busy. There is no substance. There is no content. But they think they rule the world. They are in an illusion world. All of us as responsible leaders of respective organization, it is our job to bring them on the ground, make them realize that, look, there's a long journey ahead of you. You must build that journey, build stamina for yourself, because technology is going to change. It's ever changing, right? So it's important for you to remain grounded and be open all the time. So what is the most important skill? Learning to learn. Am I making sense? Yeah? Because many of us, we have so much of content. Information explosion is there, right? Including ChatGPT, including Google. You go to several platforms. There is swayam.org. Hundreds and thousands of courses available. Nobody is going there. Amazing government initiative. People are not looking at it. There is LinkedIn Learning, Unacademy, Khan Academy, you name it. There are plethora of things available for us to learn. We are so distracted. So we don't know how to learn. Learning to learn is the biggest skill in the world today. The most vital skill to develop. Very, very important. So the L&D ecosystem, there are transformational changes there as well. It is eternally changing. Who wants L&D today in the organization? Any answers? There is CLO to perform the role. Who wants the CLO organization? Any ideas? It is today, learning is everybody's responsibility. You cannot entrust the responsibility only with the CLO. Today, learning organization is driving organizational results. Today, learning organization has the seat on the strategy table. Because organization which does not learn must prepare itself to die. Very clear. Learning is lifelong, eternal, and the purpose of learning is to convert the mirrors into windows of opportunity. I am saying the opportunity and the purpose of learning is to convert the mirrors into windows of opportunities for all of us. So the responsibility lies with everybody today. CLO happens to be the driver of the initiative in the world, right? So learning, new age learners, attention deficiency. That's why these TED Talks came into existence. Why TED Talks is only 18 minutes? Why not 80 minutes? One is the attention, the ability to stay connected with the speaker especially in this room now. If I take next 5 minutes, you will switch off somewhere because you are sitting here, you are somewhere else, your mind is elsewhere. The ability to connect with the speaker and the audience is very vital. So every 7 minutes you need to reconnect. That's why TED came out saying not more than 18 minutes. And TED became a big success story in the world of learning today. Because it's quick, it is capsuled, and it is easy to absorb and digest. And I will connect 150% for that period of time. So it's very, very important. We live in a very attention deficiency economy today. So looking for instant gratification. Gone are the days where my father worked for 30 years in the government sector. When he retired, he got one shawl and he was very happy. Today, nobody has time. I'm saying, I joined you today. What is the average tenure of a fresher today? I'm sure all of you know. In the company. In spite of bonds, right? The tenure is less than 1 year. That is the reality. Correct? So look at the attention aspect. So that is what we need to focus on. When we are talking about the future of L&D, how do we craft our courses which will hold them connected for a long, long time? With chunks of intervals, very, very important. Bite size, you talk about anything, you can use any jargon. But the fact of the matter is, we are living in an attention deficiency economy today. We want learning to be quick, effortless. Don't tell me to code. Like I said, I will give a problem statement to ChatGPT, it will give me a solution. Here is the solution, take it. So that's very, very, L&D is truly a strategic partner and building intellectual capital for the world. Not only your organization and my organization, the role of L&D is actually beyond the boundaries of organizations and the countries. Our job is to build the intellectual capital for the world because the world needs intellects to run this world in a more sensible manner, which will speak about brotherhood, which will speak about continuous learning, which will speak about living in harmony, leading life in harmony, all those things, right? So next one is, what are the trends that we are seeing? I want to classify this into 3 categories. One is the recent past, because I don't want to call it as the past, right? So the recent past is what? Gamified, fun learning, bite-sized, social learning, personalized, digital, and whatnot. All of this we are aware. It's just representation of data in a very different manner. I'm not giving anything new to you. Just that to hold all of it together, I'm giving some gamified presentation in a sense to hold your attention. And the current one is all AI enabled. Today we are using Edcast in our company by Cornerstone. You know what? Edcast is so intelligent. It is mapped to my IDPs. I have a personal performance management system. I have IDPs. IDPs mapped to the Edcast. It knows what I am doing, what skill I am working on, what project I am working on. It is giving me courses that I should work to improve on my skills, to be effective on the job. It is so much intelligence driven. All you need is your mind and the will and the skill to be able to pick up those skills and remain relevant. And you know what? NASSCOM has already told, 40% of the people need to reskill themselves to remain relevant in this industry. And that will increase rapidly if we don't learn, if we don't change. Where are the manual testing people today in the industry, in the services sector especially? Where are the manual testers? Gone. They have transformed. They have become automation experts. Similarly, there are several roles. Today you don't need to write a code. There are tools which will give you 80% of the code. I'm willing to be challenged on this. So it's important for us to learn. So the world-class digital content, LinkedIn, for example, if you have a LinkedIn profile and if you put up your skills, LinkedIn has the details of the global job market. Global postings data is available with LinkedIn. What LinkedIn does today is it actually analyzes big time and brings the right kind of jobs for you on the right side of your frame on your laptop. Are you with me? Right? Similarly, all of you use Netflix. For example, the Netflix that I am using and the Netflix that Surya will use, maybe we are watching the same movie. The ad that comes on my screen is different from the screen that he sees. Why? Because it is AI-led. Technology is so ingrained in everything that we do. You think that nobody is watching you. Do you know how many people are watching you right now as I speak? Your mobile locations are on. Your WhatsApp is on. Your social platforms are on. Everything is being tracked. If you think nobody is watching, we will make a big fool of ourselves. So, it is very, very vital. Technology is creating enormous opportunities for you and me. The only chance that we have is to open our eyes, open our learning potential, and embrace new learning. That is the current, we are in transition, right? It was a dream for many people to access MIT content, Stanford content, Cornell content. Today, on a click of a button, it's available for you. Just to let you know, by 2025, several international universities are setting up shops in India. For the next 20-25 years, think of only India. Dream India, think India, eat India, sleep India. Period. This is going to be the power of action. The action center of the world is going to be India. And that is driven by power of technology and power of knowledge and power of learning. Very, very important. The future is all AR, VR, metaverse, hyper-personalization. My goodness. I was watching a video to prepare for this presentation. Medical field is using VR today to teach surgeries. Because you don't get so many resources in every possible college. We're expanding big time because medical field where we need significant number of doctors in India. So we don't have the scale to teach physically. We are using VR today to teach complex surgeries. Can you imagine the adoption of technology? There are robots performing brain surgeries today. I'm ready to go if there is a need. Because I trust robots more than humans. Honestly, because that's where the world is heading. Very, very important. We don't talk about physical or digital. There is a phygital world that we are living in today. And it will be blended learning, the new word I understood, blended learning, because we are in hybrid model. We have become a hybrid. We were naughty once in a while. We have become hybrid now, right? You will find only naughty chicken outside, right? Today we have become hybrid. So please relate yourself to the hybrid. Right, that's on the trends. The future of learning is going to be agile, completely agile, fully adaptive, fully responsive. Okay? And it is contextual and technology driven. So these are the 4 or 5 pillars on which the future of learning will revolve around. And it is in our own interest to remain relevant in the industry that we want to be in. We must embrace this. We must understand this. If we don't understand, please fall back on your children. Children are better equipped, well informed about some of these things, and they will give you a good session. Because I'm learning from my son significantly. Right. Mindset is as important as skill set. We already talked about it. The will and the skills are the armory for the new world. Because the most vital is the willingness to learn. The moment you develop the willingness to learn, skills will automatically follow. So everything is in the mind and everything is within you and me. Right, so now what has been the journey of L&D over the years? Because we are all gray hair people here, Mr. Kotur, Surya, myself, we have crossed 45 plus. Sorry, I'm revealing your age, right? So how life has changed actually, how life has transformed. The journey is in front of you. The graphic is very, very self-explanatory. I will not go into that. But I want to talk about the future of learning. It is intelligent, hyper-personalized, and machine-driven. There are technologies today, my dear friends, who will wake you up in the morning and say that there are 10 things that you have to do. According to me, the priority that you have to do is the first 3 things. If you have not explored the new Microsoft features, please go explore. There are abundant, umpteen technologies here to really transform your life. So it's very, very important that we become intelligent learners. Right? So I think probably this is my last slide. This is my last slide. Learning never tires your mind. Tell me one person who said, I'm tired of learning. It will only ignite the fire in your mind and the heart and the belly and creates the hunger to acquire more. Not the food or the paniya that we are talking about. It is about acquiring knowledge. The hunger for knowledge should be there all the time, and it will never tire your mind. Please embark on this journey starting today, if not already started. Now, this is where I want to end my slide. I talked about technology, life, future, how they are embracing, how they are interfering in your life. But the truth remains, we must remain grounded. There is a book by my Guru P.R. Mukund from the Rochester University, New York. It's called the Dashagunas, where he explains, based on the ancient Vedic wisdom over several years, what makes an individual successful? What are the traits of success for every human being in life? So based on the research, he has come out with these 10 key skills which are extremely vital and important for all of us to learn and succeed in our life. My belief is, if we embark on a journey of learning and acquiring these 10 gunas, the 10 key skills, we will have a home run. And that's my firm belief. If you want to buy this book, it's available. And any one of you, if you want to have a session by Dr. Mukund, do let me know. He lives in the US. He comes in India every 3 months. But very powerful. This actually book has transformed my life. And in my previous organization, we used this platform to train our leaders on how to develop skills. And there is proven 30-year data with Dr. Mukund, which says people who have worked on these skills have really, really succeeded in their life. So my dear industry, friends, leaders, and family, we are gathered here to learning and understand the future of learning, the potential of learning, the threats of learning. I believe we all are in it together. If you only collaborate, come together, learn together, share together, we believe we will create a very, very new and different world altogether. I thank all the organizers for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts with you. Looking forward to interacting with all of you, learning from you. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for this wonderful session, sir. And I would like to say, I cannot resist myself. I would like to say here, one of the sparkling keynote which is truly touched my heart is change. Change happens when you made it by choice. That's what I understood. I think I'm definitely going to apply it in my life. Thanks. Give a big applause once again to sir. So without any further delay, let's start our next session, which is the panel discussion. So for panel discussion, the topic is Future of L&D. How to stay ahead in the learning curve is the topic for today. So for that, I would like to call the first speaker, Miss Ritu Sharma. Miss Ritu Sharma, I would like to request to please be on the stage. She has 18 plus years of experience working in the talent acquisition and HR business partner space. Currently working as a senior manager campus hiring in Brilio. She carries diversified experience working in different industry sectors like IT, ITES, product development, and engineering services. From the last 8 years, she has been exclusively focused on campus hiring roles, covering all types of academic institutions. Let's give a big applause to Ms. Ritu Sharma. Thanks, ma'am. Please occupy your seat. Now, our second panelist, Dr. Debabrata Das. Sir, I would like to humbly request you kindly come on the stage and occupy your seat. Let's have a big applause to Dr. Debabrata Das. Dr. Debabrata Das, currently working in Vice President, HR and Admin of MSPL Group, a diversified business conglomerate which is into mining, palpitization, industrial gases, wind power, aviation, shipping, growth projects in steel, and a few other startups. Brings with 27 years of professional experience in human resource management. He has successfully placed many startups and is successfully running HR business in his own era. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us in already. So now, our next speaker, Mr. Siju Chako. I would like to welcome and call him on the stage, Mr. Siju Chako. Thank you, sir. Thank you for showing your esteemed presence with us. Seasoned HR professional with demonstrated history of working with various industries like pharmaceuticals, consulting, captive centers, startups, skilled HR operations, center of excellence, payroll, compliance, carrying 15 plus years of rich experience in the field of human resource management. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Siju, sir, for joining us in. I'd like to call our next panelist, Mr. Rahul Chatterjee. Mr. Rahul Chatterjee, I would like to introduce you to our today's delegates and all the guest members. Please come on the stage and grab your seat, sir. Mr. Rahul Chatterjee is HR and organizational development professional with over 25 plus years of cumulative experience with premier FMCG, IT, education, insurance, real estate, banking, and finance sector. Expert in conducting sales skill workshop, recruitment skills workshop, people development transformation, and a senior HR leader. Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining in. So finally, I'd like to call one of our moderator, a very special, great HR leader today, Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra. Have a big applause to Mr. Surya Prakash. Thank you, sir, for joining us in. He's currently the Global Head Talent Transformation at Wipro Digital Operation and Platforms. He's having 25 plus years of experience in various leadership roles in the several leading IT and ITES organizations. Prior to Wipro, he worked in Hewlett Packard, Microland, and First Ring, and many more organizations. Surya sir set up a global training function for Wipro BPO, which spanned across 10 locations in Brazil, Mexico, Romania, Poland, China, and India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us in. And without further delay, I'd like to give to you for this stage, and we can start our panel discussion. Thanks, sir. I'd like to request our delegates to kindly note down our questions, since we can gather all the questions throughout this session, and throughout this session we can entertain the queries as well. You have pen and paper in front of you. Let's write it down. I'll hand it over to Surya sir. Thanks.
Thank you, Nipun. We're talking about the learning curve today, so I'm just creating a slight curve. Thank you, Nipun, for this beautiful introduction. I must thank Mr. Nagan Gowda for doing my job beautifully, because I would have, as a moderator, would have set the context, but he has set the context already. So I really don't have to set the context, and in the interest of time, you can head into the panel discussion quickly. I think we have definitely a limitation in terms of time, but I think this is a fantastic occasion, and we have a great topic, and we have a panel of iconic HR, L&D, and talent acquisition leaders with us. We're going to talk about this interesting topic, which is future of L&D, how to stay ahead of the learning curve. So as Mr. Nagan talked about the change there's change happening everywhere. And the change that is happening across the globe in the industry has its impact at the workplace, at work itself, and on the workforce. And now the question today is how L&D is going to prepare the workplace and the workforce and the work itself for the future. As we talk about gig economy, as we talk about millennials and the alphas, kind of coming into the workplace, as we talk about new business models emerging every day, new technologies, as we talk about the skill gap, and in a world when skill is the new currency, how is L&D going to prepare organizations and the workforce for the future? And what L&D is going to do differently to stay ahead of the curve? I would start this question, I would start the panel discussion by asking one common question to all the panelists. And also, I would like to remind you that Nipun has requested all of you to contribute your questions. And when we are having a preparatory call for this session, we wanted to make sure that we will slightly disrupt this panel discussion. The traditional approach is when the moderator asks questions, and we have a question and answer session towards the end, when the audience has only 5 minutes to ask questions. So we want to change that format. So we are collecting questions from all of you. And the intent, the right purpose behind that is that instead of getting into a monologue, and each one of us trying to give you a lot of gyan, we want to understand what are the pain areas that you have. What are the issues that you're grappling with in your organizations? We want to kind of take those questions head on as a team of panelists and then see how we can try and answer your questions. So do contribute your questions. The sooner the questions keep coming in, the sooner we'll be able to pick up your questions and then start answering them. So another question for all of you. Maybe we can start with Ritu, and then then we'll probably go in the same order. The question is, given the change that is happening in the industry, how L&D in your organization, how L&D in your industry changing, transforming, what is happening in your space? If you can give us a quick 2-3 minute context about what is changing, what is happening in this space, and then that will help us set the ball rolling. So Ritu, if you can start with you.
So thank you, Surya sir, for this question. Not from an L&D background, but always been close to the L&D team because I run campus hiring, the campus to corporate programs. What's happening in our space? Well, last year it was, so yes, we all know after COVID, it became to working in hybrid model. Even the training, even the L&D space came up with the hybrid ways of training. What's happening right now in our space is that how I'm just talking from I know there's a larger pool internally, there's a lot of discussions around how we can upskill, reskill people, how we can make them relevant with this new recession hitting in, how we can have lesser people on bench, how we can, what we were training, will that work or not? So there's a lot of work happening around that. But what I can add is closely working right now with the learning and development team to see, so we have this program called Learn Before Joining for freshers, how we could make it relevant. And it was not easy like how it was earlier where we had one kind of training for everybody. It's more gone to reading their resumes, seeing what skills they already have, how we can make relevant content so that we still grab their attention. So I think these are some of the changes that are happening, how we can make it experiential, how we can bring a blend with, with videos, self-learning modules, and instructor-led sessions as well. So these are some of the changes we are also working on. We are adapting to this basis the current changes that are happening.
Brat, if you can.
Very good evening to all. So I represent a business conglomerate who is primarily into mining, steel, pelletization, industrial gases. Prior to that, I was a part of Tata Group, Tata Steel and Tata Motors, automotive, steel sector, and also aluminum sector. If I look to the current business landscape, I find there are positive sentiments because in the next 7 years, we want to expand our business. Given these mandates, there is a close correlation between human capital strategy along with the business strategy and which is to be reflected in our L&D strategy. So the key major mandates at this juncture of time is quite challenging for L&D. First thing is that you develop successor for the critical roles. Internally, you move talents to different businesses. Identify their competencies through planned way of assessment development center. Create learning pathwork for everybody, customize it, give focused attention. Having said this, what is really amazing to see the engagement of the HR and L&D team with the C-suite level has increased like anything. Investment is not an issue. There is positive sentiment, so the technology will come up, but what is more important is that business is worried to actually gauge the effectiveness of the learning and development interventions. So the way whatever process we administer, be it a performance management system, be it a change management system, be it a digital transformation system, I find the L&D people, they are taking a lead role and they are working closely with the business managers to impact that change in a very, very productive way. Because our type of people are different. We are talking of different type of people, different type of skills. Maybe there are different examples. I want to give one simple example. One category of people who are saying they are a T type. They have domain expertise in 1 to 2 areas or broad understanding in another 3 to 4 areas. Another may be a I type who is having a specialism in one area. And another category is V type who are constantly upgrading their skills. So how actually L&D can give focused attention to all these type of employees for their effective retention, for their effective engagement. So it is a conglomerate. It is really challenging times coming for us for the next 7 years to come, where actually we are not only implementing meaningful interventions, also we are accountable to the C-suite for the effectiveness. Thank you, sir.
The T type and the V type, and then where L&D should really focus on is the V type.
Sir, to be very honest with you, each type is having certain strengths. So if I talk of the I type, they are the domain experts. So actually we need to build their specialism in their particular domain area. But V type means here actually we want to rotate people across functions where they want to augment their skills in the related areas. For example, somebody working in finance wants to be a part of business development.
Yeah.
Somebody working in HR wants to be part of, law function, legal function. There the type of the V comes and we want to constantly upgrade their skills through our process of assessment and development.
Brilliant. Siju, if you can share your perspective.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I represent the startup ecosystem currently, right? And if I had to say what's happening in the startup ecosystem with all the funding winter, I'm sure we have heard this term, funding winter, which doesn't really impact the multinationals much, but then impacts a little more the startup ecosystem, right? And when it comes to L&D, what we have seen in the past, wherein companies, including startups, where surplus budgets are there, you will get into L&D initiatives without sometimes without much of a thought process, right? But currently, what is happening is that we are looking at initiatives, and again, it's in the entire startup ecosystem. The L&D initiatives will be much more curated, tailor-made to the different talent pool which we have, right? I mean, it doesn't happen that you have one shoe fit all kind of an approach, right? You need to have something for the entry-level people. You have tech-related training programs. You need to have something for the first-line managers, and then you need to have something for the leadership, right? You have to build the successes in the pipeline. So what's happening right now is a very focused approach towards L&D, and also to ensure how do we relate it both to the employees and to the employer, right? I mean, there has to be ROI on each penny spent. So that also is something which is carefully evaluated, and post which the L&D designs and programs are curated. Yep.
Excellent. Rahul?
Good evening, everyone. So I represent a small finance bank. So our challenges, and the quantum is very, very different, because we cater different part of it, the society as well as the different socio-economic strata. So if we talk about our regular banking process, so it's the parallel banking. But we are also catering to those people who are deprived from the regular banking system. So our internal and external customer, their expectation and the participants or the people are totally different. And post VUCA world or the post, you can say the pandemic, we are feeling that yes, we get over from that pandemic, but it impacts or it changes or alters our thought process. It's not only now we are focusing into the customized content, but also we are focusing in what our staff or our people, learners want to learn and how they want to learn. It's not only their choice, but the how they want to learn, because during this period, once people are stuck in, because as a bankers, it's an essential service. COVID never happened to us. We are always in the field and we are always in the offices with the different strategies. So it alters kind of a, it develops a new kind of a habits. So while driving, our frontliners or field people, they are restricted to listen something, but now they're actually plug in their headphones into their head and they're just driving and all. So we need to elaborate first. And the second thing is the span of focus, it's reduced drastically. So as I rightly, I was just, sir, you were talking about our challenges, because yes, span of attention drastically reduced and focus to somewhere. It's such a difficult task nowadays. We have to try to invent, or we try to involve lots of things. Like first, whatever method and methodology you try to inculcate, classroom training, virtual sessions, self-learning pace, and then now it's not a augmented reality or something. Now it's AI based. Okay, so we invent our bot system. Okay, where people really wanted to know only the challenging areas. They don't want to know the entire story. So that whatever they're struck, wherever they're feeling challenged, we just wanted to bridge those gaps. So now augmented reality based training and the simulation based training, as well as while engaging these people into their mindset. If I talk about a core rural area into the some part of UP or Bihar, okay, they are very much fond of listening radios. So we collaborated with our knowledge partners, and a Mumbai-based company helped us to their voice artists. So we created some kind of audio clippings where if a person says, "आवाज की दुनिया के दोस्तों को लड्डू लाल वीला का प्यार भरा नमस्कार, आइए सुनते हैं कुछ financial talks," and it's along with the music and all, it actually triggers. So with this 2 minutes or 3 minutes knowledge nuggets, it's working for us. So now it's an entirely different scenario, and we have to be very, very innovative and flexible towards the new technology without losing our parallel or the existing structure. So that is what.
Thank you very much, Rahul. I think these learning nuggets are definitely powerful. I think I'm glad that you're using them. In the academics, they say, you must find answers to questions. But in the corporate world, it is important to ask the right questions, right? And we are still waiting for the questions from all of you. Hopefully they would come to us very soon, because asking the right question in the corporate is extremely important. Ritu, I would like to ask this question to you. With technology changing rapidly, technology changing rapidly, with new business models emerging, I think Mr. Nagan Gowda also talked about agility on the part of L&D. What are you doing, or what are the best industry best practices? How L&D can quickly churn out training programs, at a rapid pace? Because gone are the days when we had enough time to design, develop, run pilots, etc. Today we don't have the time, because by the time we go through the entire cycle, the technology has changed. So would you like to share any thoughts on that?
What I can share about this is that this was a pilot that we ran, and a great success internally. while I know L&D team has this responsibility of, working closely, designing content, and making it relevant. So like it's no more, like everybody said, it's no more one size fit all, right? It's more customized, it's more relevant, and it's more experiential to your audience. We tried this very vague idea. It was Learnathon series, but we came up with, like Sir said, the attention span is very short, and the TED Talks has been a good hit. We came up with a 6-minute series, topics, and what we leveraged was the talent which was already existing beyond L&D, beyond internal instructors, facilitators, I would say. What we saw, this was a big hit when there was a peer learning thing that got established. So we came up with this series. So one is this, where you outsource some of your programs and you have people working on it. So you have extended. So that's one thing we used internally to ensure that we make it more relevant, and we work on a faster space, and that was a big success. Even from a perspective that the attendance also, people did not miss this 6-minute talk series, and we ran. So we started with very generic topic, went deep dive into more technical, and then we started seeing how there were groups that got created, people started sharing, used internal platforms to exchange ideas, throw problems, solve, and things like that. So that's what I would say was a big success for us.
Yeah, I like this 6-minute series that you talked about. And also like the idea of outsourcing beyond L&D, and sometimes crowdsourcing as well. That can be very helpful. I think I would like to ask this question to Debabrat. There's a question that has come from the audience, an interesting question. With just so many options being available, there are institutions, there are MOOCs providers like Coursera, Udemy, and so on. There are short-term courses, long-term courses, online, offline. As a learner, how do you decide what to learn when there are so many options available?
Very, very interesting question. So if I am a learner, and based on my experience as a CHRO, or earlier I have also taken up a role of a CLO, both the role I have taken up. What I have found is that generally a learner, looks for continuous improvement if he is very serious about his or her development. So generally they prefer a process-based interventions where it is a mixed blend. Like our keynote speaker has rightly said, for effective learning interventions, even if there are multiple sources, every learner wants to know primarily prior to his development what stage he is. That we call a baseline assessment. So once the baseline assessment is known to the learner, I think it is very important for him or her to decide where she or he will go, what is the destination point. So mixed blend methodology for effective learning, it starts from a baseline assessment that we do prior to the learning. There are different methods. We give them a lot of pre-reading materials from multiple sources. But what is more important, that how he is connecting. I can give an example. Like we run a program on process excellence. It's very important for operating plan, mines, and all the units. This talk about Lean, Six Sigma, all these advanced concepts. Here what I found is that generally learner like the micro learning modules, because they complete one module for a duration of 5 to 10 minutes. They go for assessment. They again test whether they have understood. This is one example. Second example, they also look for an experiential kind of learning, which is important, because we have done a lot of experiential workshop where we design one activity and then we extract ideas from the learner. Is there a better way to do it? Take the example of a performance conversation workshop. Here we tell them these are the ideal ways. You can show a video, but once you do a role play through a experiential learning, where actually we give the opportunity to the learner to exhibit the behavior, and others are observing also, they can also contribute what better way the person can actually do that role play. So I must say it must appeal to you. You must know where you are right now, where you want to go. It should be micro module. It should be very short. It should be smart. And every time you must assess your learning. Where do you stand and what is the next step?
Yes, I think Ritu wants to add something.
A very recent experience may sound very silly. I wanted to do a course to just upskill myself, and I was sitting and struggling on it. Spoke to my 9-year-old daughter. She said, why don't you Google, find out the courses, see the ratings, and see maximum people who have attended that course. I did that, and that was a hit. So I think that I learned from my, like Sir said, learning how to learn. I knew I could do that, but I was still struggling whether I go to LinkedIn or Udemy or Coursera. And I was talking to friends, but she just made it easy for me in 5 minutes. Said, just go Google it, see the course, see the rating, and see the that maximum number of subscribers or learners have taken it, and just do it.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant example. I think thank you, Devabrat and Ritu. Especially what Ritu said is something very interesting. In organizations, we have this concept of reverse mentoring. I think it's important that we start talking to the younger people in an organization and find out what are their likes and dislikes. Because sometimes we think we know what is the best for them, but they may have a completely different idea. But thank you. Thanks both of you for this beautiful narrative on this. There's a question. Should the current curriculum in colleges and universities meet, should that sync with the industry requirement? Do you agree that skill building should happen right in the college and institutions? So Rahul, would you like to pick up this question?
So, yes, in our segment where we always find out new talents, new skills, and the students. Okay, the beauty of this generation is they are the generation who plug in their ear pods in their ears. They are chewing their bubble gum or some chewing gums, and they're performing very complex things, because in our learning mode, we are in the same age bracket. So in our era, we learned in a very isolated world. But this generation is having a different kind of approach, and their skill set, specific skill set, what they want. Okay, with this knowledge set, once they complete their regular learning, they also develop some kind of prejudices. So once they landed into our new world or the practical world, there are some sort of mismatches. Some mismatches means their perceptual thinking as per the reality. It doesn't match nowadays, and the gap is more higher. So we need to skill these people in terms of what they really want and where they are up to. So, and the perception is they're very quick. They really want to take things and get into the result in a very shorter time span, which doesn't work. Okay, so if you learn something which is very complex, but in the organization level, we cannot assign that complex task to you. So there is some simple to complex methodology where gradually you learn those things. So where the disconnect is, and where our, in the system, the education system may train the new resources that don't carry any mindset. Just be flexible, chip in yourself within the system, try to analyze, understand the system first, and then you try to do something which is your own. And that is what we are feeling like that, and we are suffering that the average span with the organization reduced drastically. Because once a very young chap in our organization is last week's scenario, where a young chap came to me and he was very disheartened and said, "Sir, I respect you a lot, but whatever is committed to me during my interview, it is not fulfilling. So I'm just analytics ka banda, and they're asking me to prepare some Excel. So, and I don't want to stick here because I'm not able to cater whatever I learned." So that is how the mental blockage is there. So definitely we need to work on those notes.
Right, I think that's both industry and academia really need to work. Hello. I think organizers have decided that the best way to give a hint that it's time is switch off the mic of the moderator so they can't speak anymore. So this question is for Siju. A very interesting question. There is a widening skill gap, and we have digital learning in our organizations. Is it really helping? Is it really helping in bridging the skill gap? what organizations are doing to bridge the skill gap, the widening skill gap.
Right. So, can you hear me? Yep, great. So, as I mentioned earlier, right? I mean, I've seen both sides of the industries in terms of being there for more than a decade in the multinationals and also in the startup ecosystem for the last 4-5 years, right? What I've seen how L&D has evolved from time, right? I mean, when you go to a multinational firm where you have high profitability, budgets are never a constraint. A lot of times, and I'm not generalizing this, but a lot of times what I've seen is that there are training programs which are designed, or a bucket list of training programs for a calendar year without giving too much of a thought process, right? I mean, the whole idea is it to put a tick in the box and then have a calendar, have a list of training programs throughout the year and ensure how we can drive adoption or participation, right? I mean, that is the more, or the KRA, rather than ensuring how effective the training program is, right? I think coming to the same question, right? I mean, how effective these training programs are and how can it help narrowing down the skill gap, right? What actually the organization needs and if the talent pool which is there in the organization is able to deliver that, right? So things have changed, right, from a decade ago where it was just putting a tick in the box and ensuring maximum attendance without really looking at what exactly is the effectiveness and the return of investment there, right? Today's world, I don't think, I mean, even if you have to push it, the millennials or the alpha generation, we are not really bothered, right? There were times where companies used to, and I think they're still doing it, where you link minimum number of training programs to your performance management. So that, okay, at the end of the year, if you had to get a good rating, a number of trainings are all. Now nobody's looking at how effective those training programs are or how effectively the individual was able to implement or execute those trainings or learnings in his or her job role, right? So today's world, it's more about how we can narrow down this gap. It's basically by doing training need analysis. I'm sure this term TNA, all of you are training L&D professionals, right? A training need analysis not only at the employee level, but also at the employer level, right? It's okay to I can give a bucket list of 100 training programs and I can float it across my organization, 10,000 employees, and see, okay, who wants to do what, right? It's important, but it's also equally important whether to assess if that particular training program which the employee has chosen will really impact him or her in his current role, or will it help him or her to roll up or move to the next level and in turn helps the organization achieve the goal as well. So it has to be a two-way thing. And then only the narrowing down of skill gap will happen. Otherwise, it will never happen, to be very honest, because in terms of a lot of training platforms, right? In today's world, as Ritu rightly mentioned, right, in terms of Coursera, Udemy, and there are a plethora of platforms, right, which are providing so many training programs, right? But then we always hear that there is a skill gap, right? It's again talent versus the talented, right? And employment versus employability, right? As Mr. Gowda said, we have to understand, as an organization, we have to understand what is the need of the employees who are working with us and what is organization's need as well, right? It's always good to say that, okay, we have these training initiatives or engagement initiatives, but we have to really assess what is the effectiveness of those training programs. And only if we can assess that, we'll be able to have a very effective, curated, tailor-made training programs for our employees.
Excellent. I think that Devabrat wants to add something.
I just want to add one point. Like in our case, there is a Learning Apex Council, which is the Apex governing body. So what he has said, at an organizational level, there are certain key mandates that is coming to us. Like when actually we have gone for a digital transformation, we find creative ideation is one major thrust area. So what we have done across the organization, across the hierarchy, this is a common program we have to implement, and that has went very well because we have introduced the concept of mind mapping. So we have given them the guided mind map, and a lot of ideas have emerged. This is one level. Second level is, as he has rightly said, there is a defined path for learning, but what is more important is that people always look for a career ladder for the growth. They never look for a career lattice structure. Lattice structure means it may be your horizontal movement, maybe your spiral movement, maybe or different other developmental interventions which you need to undergo, like job shadowing and other interventions, maybe reverse mentoring, maybe coaching to upgrade your skills. So for identified population who are actually ready to take up the leadership role, or at a second level who are actually taking the departmental head level, they are not yet to go to the functional head level, we implement this career lattice structure where they are going the other interventions. So that has also helped us to bridge their skill gap.
So this is just a pilot that we are doing with the freshers. We had the managers build the JD. It's purely technical I'm talking about. Then we uploaded the CV of the freshers using AI, the ATS system. It threw us data around what the fresher already has and where there's a gap. Based on that, we are designing the training programs for the recent batch. So this is something that we were just experimenting, that using AI, how we can map the skills that they already have, where there's a gap, and what trainings we can build.
So audience, there are lots of interesting best practices. I think I really liked what Devabrata said. The Learning Apex Council, it's an informal body which is sponsoring learning in the organization. And Ritu talked about mapping skills based on AI, using AI, and then Siju talked about not only doing needs analysis at employee level, but doing it at employer level as well. Great insights. This question is for you, Ritu, especially the dignitary has called out this question for you. How to be ahead of competition while hiring talent? When there is a talent war that is going on, how can an organization be ahead of competition in hiring talent?
Okay, to answer this question, a lot of work goes around being ahead in attracting, engaging, and hiring talent. I think, in a nutshell, what it boils down to, and this is out of experience being 8 years in the campus hiring role, it changes. It purely depends on what you're hiring for. Are you hiring for skill, will, or what is trainable, what is not trainable? So you have to define your desired candidate profile, and it's purely depending on it depends on the organization, the hiring managers as well. But what is more important, and what I've seen, is that everywhere across, and all of you can also vouch for this, attitude is what they look for. The rest is trainable. I can technically train the person, but what they look at is, are they good with basic? Do they have the hunger to learn? Is there curiosity in them? And attitude. I think that's what they look for, which are more soft skills. Well, I know, and even when I talk to these freshers and everybody asks us, what should we do? I'm talking from the other side. What should we do to prepare for this interview? How can we crack this? The only thing that I tell them is that any hiring manager you talk to, they will only look for these 4 things. Do you have the hunger to learn? Are you groomable, trainable? Can you unlearn, relearn? Because you need to keep doing that. And do you have the attitude to take up anything that comes up? So to answer this question, define your own metrics. What suits you? What is that you're looking for in terms of metrics? And then what fits. I think that's all. And attracting talent, you'll have to design, customize, engagement programs, because again, one size doesn't fit all. I have seen that in last 8 years. Every year I have changed my engagement programs, attraction programs, because what I did last year does not hold same, because the audience keep changing. So I think it's a continuous effort, process, which keeps changing, and it's purely depends on the organization, what you're hiring for, what you're hunting for, and what you define as your metrics, what you can do with, and what you cannot.
Thank you, Ritu. I just got a note from the organizers that there's only one word which says KISS. I was just trying to figure out, it was a bit shocking. I was trying to figure out, then there is an expansion of this word, and then it says, keep it short, stupid. So, all right, so I don't have an option. Just have one question to everybody, and then we'll wind up. And you have to respond in one sentence. What is your recommendation or advice to the L&D professional out there? in one sentence, please. Any order, anyone can pick up and then.
Okay, I'll try to keep it in one sentence. So whatever we do, right, just try to analyze, right? Don't, let's not do it for the sake of doing it. Analyze, understand the requirement, understand the need of your employees and also the organization, right? Partner with the business, understand what the business needs also, right? It's very, very important what the business needs. And then align that with the training initiatives which we have, which you have in the organization, and then design programs. I'll keep it short.
So dear L&D professionals, please be with the business and the people both at their good time and also at their bad time. Please be the value creator for the business and also for the people.
The only thing I can say is that it's no more process. The way forward is experience. Experience for self, for candidates, for your learners, for your stakeholders. So experience is what I would talk about, and I think I've done a lot of work around it, and I feel that makes a difference. So experience is what I talk about way forward.
Thank you, Ritu.
So in a one sentence, I can say that be very open and keep end result in mind with ROI as well as your achievement part, what you want to achieve in terms of learning and in terms of enabling. So ROI will be the key aspect where it will help you to identify kind of a tool you can use. Okay, it will help you to optimize your penetration towards each and every segment in your organization, because the person who is dealing with a specific geography, which is let's say 2-tier city or 3-tier city, it can't be applicable for the cosmopolitan, but the same role holders are there. So it must be very, very person-centric, not a holistic or a uniform thing. So you have to be very conscious and very flexible.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all the panelists, for your very insightful comments and responses to these questions, both from me and from the audience. And I would like to really thank you for your time and then for making this session really memorable. Audience, friends, learning is like breathing. Nagan Gowda talked about learning, igniting fire in the mind. Not learning is not an option today. It is like breathing, it is life. And if you really want to make the organization lively, we'll have to make sure that learning happens. Something very interesting, I think Nagan was sharing the Dasa Gunas, the gunas that really makes an individual powerful. But do our universities focus on them? Do they teach them? Do our colleges teach them? Do the L&D leaders teach the workforce in organizations? We really have to reflect on this. With this question, I would like to sign off along with my panelists, and thank you very much, audience, for the beautiful questions. The questions should keep coming. I was told there are some goodies for the few best questions, so there is another panel after this, so keep sending your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much to our wonderful speakers and our amazing moderator for this successful and powerful discussion on the future of L&D. With this note, I'd like to give you all a breather of 2 minutes, which I am seeing that it is required. Kindly refuel yourself and stay tuned with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes because we have many more things to do, interesting things. Thanks. Of the next part of our session, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the true academic leader, a visionary in the field of education and an individual who has dedicated his career to inspiring the next generation of learners. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jatinder Sadhana, who will be introducing us to Maharishi Markandeshwar University, Milana. Let's have a big applause for Mr. Jatinder. Mr. Jatinder is a confident, creative, and highly result-oriented management trainee. He's a professional with 14 plus years of experience of distinguished performance in the training placement. He's currently with MMU University, the Corporate Relations and Marketing Department. He's proactive manager, team builder, and the social planner with the ability to attract the secure key players in building strong and long-lasting business relationships. Acknowledge to decisive relationship leadership and proven ability in the river of handles and challenging heads upon. Heading the Center for Training Placement and Corporate Relations of MMDU, Mr. Jatinder Sadhana. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
So hi, good evening, everyone. Firstly, thank you, everyone, to join us today on this event. So I would be very particular in my words, and I would be very quick and short. I believe icing on the cake has already been done for this event. So, but to quickly introduce to our university what we are and what we do and how we take things on a practical platform. So what I've noticed today is what Naga sir said and what Mahapatra sir said, that 10 guna thing, does that reach to colleges? Does that reach to the students? So what I request Naga sir, what I request Mahapatra sir and leaders all present here today, why not you go back today and make a kind of commitment to yourself that whenever some MLA, MPs are adopting some villages, why don't we adopt some colleges? And that colleges should be from your native places also. And if we start doing such kind of initiatives, I believe this 10 guna thing, and the sir was mentioning some of the leadership that coming from USA every 3 months, that can definitely make a change to the society, what we are living in. Just to quickly introduce to our university, I would like to present few words that Maharishi Markandeshwar University, we are welcoming atmosphere with highly supportive faculty. And what we have achieved today are certain milestones which are present in the slide in terms of placements. So to quickly give you a glimpse, that we thought of bringing up some big corporates to campus, and that is the vision. We opened our office in Bangalore 7 years back. And recently we have also planning to open our office in Pune, and then we'll probably move to Hyderabad also. So these are some of the milestone placements which we are watching on screen. So you can see Microsoft, Amazon, PwC, ENY, Trident, Innovator, and other few big brands. And we are planning to add some more big names to it. This is our activity milestone, just to brief you about that. In 1993, there was a trend in South that we only had engineering, private engineering colleges in South. Then my promoters had a vision to open a university, open a college. And in 1993, we started up with the engineering college. And today we are proud saying that we have 10 colleges, 200 plus courses, and many accolades to our belt. These are some of the ranking and accreditations. So what we see is when it comes to accreditation and validations, we have been accredited by NAC A++, which comes under top 3% institutions of India. We are accredited by World Ranking University, which is like 174 in Southern Asia. And we are NRF top 100 university. We are being ranked 32 amongst top medical colleges in India, ranked 24 among top pharmacy colleges in India. And there are certain worldwide rankings, which is 600 to 8 amongst the top universities of the world, 400 to 500 in clinical and health. So this is something which I believe when we say that, always say that necessity is the mother of all innovations. So we believe that there are certain center of excellence which we are already running, and we plan adding some more big brands to our kitty. So just to mention Google, National Instruments, Bosch, Cisco, and this CSAD thing is like, we have invested around some 25 crores into it, and we have tied up with Dassault Pune, where we students have that hands-on practical experience to all kind of major role playing in the country. So when we say that we are the innovators, trendsetters, we have startup learning interventions, gurus of the industry, telling us about bootstrapping, seed capital, incubators, accelerators. Aram was such an initiative, what we planned, and we did it at university, a startup event which we did last year. So these are certain glimpses which shows that we started our journey in Mumbai, then we did our event in Hyderabad, now we are in Bangalore, and next we are doing one event in Pune. So these are some of the prime recruiters which are regularly coming to us, and we have, like, we feel that proud in mentioning that every year around 50 plus top brands we add to our kitty. So this is something I would like to explain you in detail. So when we say that alumni are brand ambassadors, so we have always believed that a history of a college is known by their students. So first and foremost, you can see Mr. Mohit Gambhir. He is the Innovation Director in Government of India. And there are such big examples which we see on the screen. And we thought of creating such alumni again and again. So some of the major dignitaries which come very often to our campus, Yuvraj Singh, Kailash Kher, Baba Ramdev, Sandeep Singh, and other some big names of the industry. So this is a glimpse of life at our campus. We keep on promoting certain events, some exchange programs with other universities also. So this is just a glimpse that what I was talking about. We have 10 departments in the university, like engineering, hotel management, paramedical, computer application, biotechnology, pharmacy, medical, dental, nursing, commerce, law, physiotherapy, journalism, and communication. So this is about our trust. So in total, we have 3 campuses. One is our parent campus in Ambala, Haryana. One we have in Solan, Himachal Pradesh. And the third one is on Chandigarh Highway, where we are coming up with another medical university. Thank you all. Thank you for patience listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jatinder, for this insightful information about MMDU. So I'll be heading towards the next session of this event, which is the panel discussion number 2. The topic of this event is unlocking the potential of artificial intelligence to solve the talent problems. And to begin with, I'd like to invite our first speaker for this panel, Ms. Reshmi Menon. Let's give big applause to Ms. Reshmi. Ms. Reshmi, 17 years of self-motivated and result-oriented professional with experience in fields of sales, campus, lateral hiring, recruiting, well-versed with internet job, portal, and social media, Naukri, LinkedIn, Google, Monster. She is into the talent acquisition, bulk hiring, human resource, international hiring, specialization, full cycle recruiting. Thank you, Ms. Reshmi, for joining us, Jin. Please grab your seat. Our second panelist is Mr. Arif Khan. Mr. Arif, thank you so much for joining us in. I would like to request you kindly grab the stage. Kindly give a big applause to Mr. Arif. Thank you, thank you. Mr. Arif, he has 20 years of experience at strategic operations, which includes HR, talent acquisition, and other business operations. Senior business leader with executive experience in product engineering, strategy, business management, and global operations. A well-rounded experience in both the strategies and the human resource operations. Thank you, Mr. Arif, for joining us in. Now I would like to request our third panelist, Mr. Yatish Shivaprasad. Thank you, Mr. Yatish. Kindly come on the stage and grab your seat. Mr. Yatish Shivaprasad heads the team of Corporate Function Technology in Societe Generale Global Solution Center in India and Romania, delivering IT for application, convincing finance, risk, compliance, HR, legal, communication, sourcing, opening across technology areas. During his tenure of Societe Generale, during his tenure for this IT operations, Mr. Yatish, he has well versed with all the technologies. Prior to joining Societe Generale, Yatish has worked as a senior consultant with Infosys Technologies, Deutsche Bank, Software, HCL Technologies. Thank you, Yatish. Thanks for joining us in. And finally, I'd like to call our today's moderator for this panel discussion, Mr. Rajeshwar Rao. Kindly come on the stage. Thank you so much for joining us in, Mr. Rajeshwar. Soon I'll be handing over the mic to you. And Mr. Rajeshwar, he's the Senior Director and Head Talent Acquisition at EdgeVerve. Rajeshwar has led and managed recruitment function in the world's leading products, captives, and the services organization. His vast experience has helped set up new business within Oracle and set up on-site Oracle retail global business in the Oracle. Thank you, Mr. Rajeshwar. And without any further delay, I'll over to you so that we can have this panel discussion. Thanks.
Thank you, Nipun, and a warm good evening. I just asked ChatGPT one question before I walked in. What if your dinner is delayed by a speech? And ChatGPT said, as always, if it's inevitable, enjoy the speech and take some content out of it. If not, just act as if you're listening at least. With that, two things, the trend of the day, how's Bangalore traffic and what did you ask on ChatGPT? That's the trend for the day. So with that, thank you HR Success and MMDU for this opportunity to talk to the esteemed panel. Whatever I ask is with my limited knowledge, and the best part is only I can get to ask questions, right? I don't need to answer them. So with that, let me start. These are not from ChatGPT, by the way. I need my glasses getting older. Right. So I'll start with a quote from Albert Einstein, right? Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, imagination encircles the world. That's a brief depiction of how AI is penetrating our lives today, and Albert Einstein predicted it much longer back. So with that as a context, and like I said, I don't want to be between the dinner and the questions. Arif, we'll start with you. URL is the new mantra. Can you give us your personal experience?
I think Mr. Gowda already set the lights on it. URL is nothing but unlearning, learning. I'll quote a famous writer in the US by name Alvin Faulkner or something. I don't recall the name properly. He said, in 21st century, the illiterates will not be someone who cannot read and write, but the ones who cannot unlearn, learn, and relearn. So learning, unlearning, as I rightly said, I already said, enough has been said by Mr. Gowda on it. Unlearning is a change, right? If we can adopt that change, it helps not only in establishing to the new trends in market, in industry, but also in establishing yourself in the market. Now, the personal experience, to keep it short, being in talent acquisition or being in L&D, from LMSs of the world, we have come to phygital. From manual sourcing to ATSs, we have come to AIs. today, when I go back to my organization, I don't have recruiters to send resumes in first 24 hours. It's the AI which does the trick. The AI can automatically parse, the AI can automatically search, the AI can automatically send the CVs. So that's the learning which we have taken from previous. Now, we unlearn a lot of things. We unlearned the physical, I come from an era where we didn't have attachment, we didn't have the internet to source. So we came from a physical resume, a cover letter, to an attachment, now to an AI video resumes. So we unlearned a lot of things, and now we're learning new things and new trends in the market. So I'll keep it short, that's how we unlearn. And we have to keep learning, as learning is a never-ending thing, and I'm also a kid, and I want to be a kid. Make sure that, we keep learning. Thanks.
Thank you, Arif. I only knew one URL. Thanks for a new learning today. I think I need to unlearn one part of that. I don't know if any of you would remember, long back in Menlo Park in California, there was this ad some company has put, I wouldn't name the company, a problem statement, someone passing by solved it, sent an answer to that company, the company sent one more, and that resulted into an interview process with that company. Without going into the details of that company, the automation kind of making inroads into the talent process, especially recruiting, if I would say. How do you see automation and AI affecting the talent acquisition industry? No future, it's already there. And what steps do you think each one of us in the HR industry should be taking to stay ahead of this curve? So any of you can start, maybe Reshmi.
Okay. So automation is in, automation is given, and automation is a way forward. Okay, so we are applying automation everywhere in all spheres of our businesses, HR being the key one and the critical one for us because it interfaces with the talent. And the strides that we are making right now is immense. Okay, we speak a lot about ChatGPT. We've been doing it, since evening, and I see that every speaker is speaking about it. Today it's ChatGPT. We are speaking about ChatGPT version 4 already. Okay, so tomorrow it could be something else. So the automation is here to stay, and I think what we need to really look at is a responsible automation. Okay, because we are dealing with personal data of people. We are dealing with humans at the end. So how do we humanize the automation will be very key, and we should not lose the balance between the humanism and the automation that we bring in. So with that, I leave it to other panelists to air their views.
So I come from an automation company. Our tagline is, automation, purposeful automation. See, automation is a very subjective word, but to keep it specific, purposeful automation and challenging the status quo when it comes to automating is what we believe in and what I personally believe in. Now, AI technologies, yesterday's technology is today's obsolete. Today's technology will be tomorrow's obsolete. So we never know what we're going to do. Maybe next time when we come after 2-3 years, probably there'll be something, some other NLP to YLP or XLV. We never thought of, transferring money from our mobile phones. Maybe next year we say transfer something to our, moderator, just, to our phones and the money gets transferred. You never know which Now when we bring this technology into our, subjects, there's a huge change. As I told you, the AI is bringing a lot of, giving us a lot of insights. In today's market, or, a couple of years back when the pre-pandemic or post-pandemic now, each recruiter or every talent acquisition head used to, suffers from something called offer to joining, right? You offer X, you have X minus 5 joining. Now, AI has helped us in great detail. We call it as a, in my organization, what we did was we have a culture scorecard, we have a candidate scorecard. So AI brings and gives us insights of the whereabouts of or the likes and dislikes of that candidate. AI, by the way, not to get, AI is approximation. It is not 100%. It gives us an insight. But to solve the problem, there are many industry leaders who are trying to bring in AI into the, the recruiting process, the L&D process, to any HR processes today, which one, removes the bias, second, gives us insights of what is going to happen. So a lot of those tools have already been implemented. Forget about the chat, if I go pre-pandemic, nobody would have looked at any UAN number or Aadhaar numbers. Today, most of the companies are implementing bots to do the UAN checks, to check moonlighting. All this is done by bots today. And bot also, by the way, is an old technology now. Now, there are certain other technologies in the market which I will talk to you, maybe, if somebody is interested, I can tell you what all is happening in the talent market today, which technologies and how is AI building scorecards in terms of the entire, life cycle. So you can, thanks.
Okay, good evening everyone, thank you. So automation is actually here to stay, and I think it's very much important in our recruitment also. And when we go in for the campus, let's say that's the first beginning of recruitment, there automation works, but we also need a personal touch, because there are students who are just coming into the new world of corporates, and for them, everything being automated would not work. They need a personal touch. So I think it's either ways. You need automation, also you need to have a personal touch to that.
I like that, Rashmi, the automation and personal touch, and what Yati said about responsible automation, I think a key word to look at. So Rashmi, to continue with you, on that, with automation and all the AI jargons we listen, right? How about the skills and attitude companies state that they look for, but always the clash or the question between the skills versus attitude in recruiting, right? And with AI in place, trying to spoil it more. What's your thoughts on that?
So to begin with, I'll take the statement which Ritu said. Every time when you ask a hiring manager, he always says, hire for attitude, because skill is something that you can train. And that's when AI comes in. AI will help us in both skills and to identify the skills and attitude of a person. But attitude is something that you cannot train. And AI also won't be able to assess it as much as it can assess the skills. So while we are doing recruitment, I think with the help of AI, we're able to get the right skills of the candidate by looking at his resume and things. But finding out an attitude, for that, I think AI is still not been there. It needs a little more change to be done. So I think AI is good, but it has, just like a coin, it has both the sides. So it's good with assessing the skills, but for attitude, we still need to wait for something better.
So if I have to again, pick on that, and if I have to look at the downside as well, right? The biases AI can create or can be responsible for, and especially how it can impact the talent acquisition process, which is again the most critical, right, for an organization. So any comments?
So AI basically is not a rocket science. AI does only when we give him data. When we give data to the machine, it consolidates a huge chunk of data and gives us insights of what you can do with the data. When you get insights, it helps you to increase your speed. It helps you to be agile. It helps you to be flexible. It helps you in making decisions faster. AI is not going to replace humans. I mean, if some of us are beyond, Y2K. When Y2K came, we thought, okay, gone. There's no life after that. So AI, it's a term which is used now, but it's not going to replace humans. It's the humans which create AI. Not AI cannot create a human. So yes, it's a storage of data, which it helps in processing faster than a human can. Gives us insights to make decisions faster, gives us insights to make sure we do things with speed. We do things, we are flexible and agile in doing, the last task first and the first task last. It only helps us in doing that.
I'll give you 2 examples which are very relevant and pertinent of how AI can be a spoiled sport as well, like the way you mentioned. The first example is, there is a dedicated team. This is one of the global enterprises which has got a dedicated team of people who can feed data into the AI model. And this team is based out of Egypt. So what happens is when the data is being fed on certain axes, you're actually training the model with certain biases, and the biases is extremely Middle Eastern. And what happens if you use that model elsewhere across the world, definitely those biases will creep in. And that's why, at the start of the conversation, I said it has to be a responsible AI, right? And the second example that I would want to quote is, our favorite ChatGPT. I'm sure a lot of people have seen, in the forwards or on the Instas or on the WhatsApps, a joke which is floating around, which says, I'll just take another example which is similar. So what day is it? The ChatGPT says it's Friday. So the guy says, no, but my wife says it's Thursday. So ChatGPT says, no, it's Friday. He said, no, my wife is right. So ChatGPT says, no, you're right, I'm wrong. Okay, so it depends really on what is the data that you feed to an AI model. And you do a good data feed and you build the data over a period of time, and this is a bit of a technological aspect. Your model is tuned basis that data, right? So what we should not lose track in that whole process is a common sense and what we are as humans wired as, because sometimes that is the one which plays a lot of commonsensical stuff while we deal with AI.
Thanks, Yatish. That was I think most of us would have seen that meme and would never forget it. I didn't want to say wife, I'll leave it as spouse. I don't want to get controversial there. But it did predict about Bangalore traffic, by the way. I did mention that when Nagan sir said he was able to come faster, and I just typed that as well and said, Bangalore traffic is unpredictable. That was ChatGPT's answer, by the way. I got a very interesting question, and the moment I looked at it, I couldn't stop smiling. And this is every recruiting professional's delight, or again, one answer, I don't know if ChatGPT will ever give it, but how can you use AI to catch the last minute offer dropouts, right? So the moment I saw that question, I said, wow. My heart goes out, right? I'm a recruiting guy, 23 years, and not a single guy in this room, I'm sure, would say, no, we don't suffer from that. So your thoughts on that? Anyone, again, we can go in any order.
I have the mic, so I'll start, Arif, if you're okay. Okay, we face it all the time. The last 2 years has been extremely, I would call it as a bloodbath. It was extremely competitive to say who's going to pick whom in the market. So for us, the last moment dropout, the way we managed was, to really make a kind of a model, human model, where we do more offers to people basis a certain probability, right? And keeping in mind, the offer to join ratio to be nearly around 50 to 55%, you make such offers. So at least if one is dropping out, at least you have 3 more in the pipe who could join in. Definitely there's a bit of an impact on couple of weeks or couple of days, depending on the pipe that you would build. But definitely that was one of the options that we put in place.
Nobody can solve it, but I am not sure why. Even I don't know. Though there are some trade secrets. My offer to joining ratio is 82%. And no, it does not happen by chance. Definitely does not happen by chance. I have my own ways of, defining some things, which is anybody can define. There's no rocket science in this. There's something called pulse checks, and AI definitely helps you in pulse checks. We had the company where I work for, we have a company called V Labs, which is a predominantly AI ML computer vision company. And the pedigree is only PhDs from MITs, the likes of MITs or the IITs. They have built a model for us, for the recruiting team inside, where it gives me an insight. I have an offer decline, but I do not have a single last minute no-show from last 1 year. A single, and I can vouch for it, I do not have a single last minute no-show from last 1 year. From the day we started using that model, we piloted it, we started doing it, we do not have a single, no-show.
That's interesting, but I should learn that from you. Okay, for us, we have always tried to make sure that, because I handle campus, we also make sure that we keep candidates connected. We get them into office, and we try to do some events so that they're connected. And we also sometimes, if we get to know that there's an off-campus happening, we try to find out with recruiters if this candidate was there, and then try to pitch another offer to him. So these were the things that we've been currently doing, and I'll try what Arif said.
You want to buy that?
We're going to do that.
Arif, the after dinner
The name
event
and the
is on
number.
me. Maybe on behalf of the both of us, we'll learn some trade secrets from you on that. In that note, I'm reminded of Sophia's response, the humanoid, right? I don't have feelings as you have feelings. The role of a humanoid. When someone asked Sophia about feelings. And related to that, I got a question. Is AI a hindrance, a boon or a bane compared to the traditional hiring systems? Any thoughts? Again, no particular order.
It's half glass full, half glass empty. The way you want to look at it.
Is it
correct.
related
I was
to the
about to say
Friday
that, Reshmi. It depends on the situation. I think it depends on the way we use it. Okay, for us, you decide the aspects that you want to implement. You decide the aspects that you don't want to implement, and which you can do it in a other way or a manual way. Those aspects are possible, but it's.
Either ways. Definitely, it's either ways. In campus, it's a boon because we get so many tons of resumes, so AI helps us to review it and get it back in less time, so that's a boon. But yeah, the other side is it does not allow us to see whether the offers would be declined or not. So yeah, it's both the ways. I think it depends on the situation here.
Great. So again, just to continue on the hindrances, a boon or a bane, right? If you have to really use AI to improve your employer branding, any thoughts? Maybe tools, examples?
Well, I'll give it's very subjective for me. The reason why I'm saying this is, as I told you, it depends on how we use the AI. We use AI for productivity. I have not used AI for employer, creating an EVP. But if we can give some insights on creating employee EVPs inside the organization, we have every organization takes employee testimonials, right? So this AI can take the best ones and publish on the social media platforms, right? That's like listening from the horse's mouth. I strongly believe that employee testimonials are the best employer branding, but I do not have that. So maybe you guys can.
Okay. For the branding purposes, I think it depends on the way we look at it. The branding can be categorized into two, right? One is external, one is internal. How do you brand yourself with the employees, and how do you brand yourself with the external ecosystem? For us, we are a bank, we are a global bank, we are a French bank, so it becomes important on the kind of services and the products that we offer to our end clients. And there I see a lot of employability of AI. For example, we have gone completely digital in the way we offer our services on the banking channels. And while we do that, we use AI extensively. So as I speak now, end of 2022, we had nearly 200 million euro worth of value generated out of AI type of use cases. So it's immense. And primarily it's applied on the retail banking space in France. And we are also in the process of creating assistants, in a fashion of a robo, where when a customer walks into the, a branch, he gets or she gets or anybody gets greeted by this robo, and it's got a deep learning capability where it can have that conversation with the prospective client. So we are able to do that, and when you give this kind of an experience to your potential client, it's definitely a wow experience. And same thing happens internally, when you want to brand yourself with your staff members, you also apply it on certain use cases where you're able to analyze the sentiment of people. You figure out, what goes well, what doesn't gel well, when you have to do some policy rollouts, to check the pulse of the people, to be able to analyze what is the trend that you want to pick up and to work on it. There we see a lot of utility on AI. So I feel really there are use cases both internally as well as externally.
Good point. Yeah, I think a point to ponder and do more research in that area. Like in the previous session where the discussion was on changing technologies and everything, and if we don't have any further questions from the audience, maybe everyone is thinking of the plate and not the question. Like Nipun said, there are goodies for the best questions, if there are any. I'd just like to remind. But if not, one last question from my side, I promise. New technologies like AI, blockchain, metaverse, RPA, take any other jargons, right, are making the headlines. And especially since there is a university hosting us, right? If we have to really keep that in mind as well, from an early as well as a lateral talent perspective, what's your perspective on change, on this changing talent landscape? Again, Reshmi, we'll start with you. Early talent, and then we'll.
In colleges, AI has, colleges have adopted AI much better than the corporates. That's what I feel. And AI in college is here to stay, and it's doing great over there. So taking in that way, I think right now with all these new stuffs that's come up, the students are really, they have a lot of informations and they're well versed with it. When we go into a campus, they have, you want a particular skill, but you find much better skills over there because they are all learning a lot of things. So I think in this way, AI, metaverse, all these are helping students to upgrade themselves.
Thank you, Reshmi. Arif, anything from your side?
So I'll give you a example which I saw maybe a couple of years back. In one of the English companies in the UK, the company had used RPA in tandem with AI and ML. They had built bots. The entire recruiting, I was that day, I got a shock of my life. I thought, okay, recruiting is gone now. Everything is going to be done by bots. The bot takes the database, gets into it's linked to the IVR. The IVR calls and tells them which company they're calling from. It's exactly, it's like, that the chatbots which have, may I help you, right? It calls the candidate, it tells the candidate, may I help you, or I'm calling from this company, the company's revenue is this is the headcount, this is this. The moment the candidate or the prospective talks, it links that to recruiter. And then the recruiter talks on the, if the candidate talks on the salary, it takes you back to the salary structure. What are the rewards? What are the RNRs we have? What are the salary structures we have? So some people have used it to an extent where human interaction is very, very minimal. Human interaction is needed, without which recruiting will not happen. But to ease out and to cut short the number of people, they are using these, to a level. That's what I've seen in, life.
Good one. From my point of view, when we look at people coming in from the colleges, there are certain things that we need to keep in mind. Technology changes every 2 years. Okay, now I think the span is also further shortened. Given the advancement of the technologies, we were speaking about quantum computing, we were speaking about, low-code platforms, we are speaking about no-code, low-code platforms. We are speaking about AI, we are speaking about many other technology. If you look at ourselves, 5 years ago, where digital transformation started, at that point in time, we were still at a very nascent stage to explore some big data technology out there. So technology changes 1.5 to 2 years span. What we need to encourage people is to go to the fundamentals. The fundamentals are basic analytic skills. When we go to campus recruitments, I see on the resume all the flowery skills, technology, which is all put there. You ask them a basic question, a puzzling question. The thinking ability of the students is very limited at times. Okay, so the fundamentals has to be taught to them, and then to be able to help them adapt to any new technology by giving in those fundamentals is the key. And then they will change over a period of time because the technology that I started to learn in my college, which was basic Fortran C programming, is never existing right now, right? So we will change, and adaptability is key, and we should help them to learn how to be adaptable to the changing environment.
Thank you, Yatish.
I'll just add to it at the last. From MIS, we moved to analytics. From analytics, we moved to predictive analytics. Now from predictive analytics, we moved to video analytics. From video analytics, AI, computer vision, so we don't know next time when we come here, maybe we'll be talking something new.
That was a good one, Arif. Yeah, and that only reminds us that it's a continuous learning journey. The learning never stops. It's just that you continue to reinvent yourself, keep up to pace with what's happening and changing. As a end to this, I remember one quote: "A is never going to replace professionals, HR, recruiters, anyone. Only those who don't use AI will be replaced by those who are using it." That's it. With that, thank you, friends, for this opportunity. Yatish, Arif, and Reshmi for playing a sport and answering all my questions, and to the organizers for this. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Group picture for this panel. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your esteemed presence, everyone. So let's move on to our next awaited moment. We would like to honor our special guest today. For that, I'd like to call our Honorable Dr. Debashish Rath, Vice President, Maharshi Markandeshwar, Dean to be University. Give a big round of applause to Dr. Debashish. Professor Rath is into human resource development and training since 25 years. He has experience in teaching, academia, franchisee, network development, media planning, background, and co-founded Amirpersonal India as an organization engaged in the area of Pan-India later, and also co-founded SG Partner. Mr. Debashish Rath would be presenting our honor to our special guest for today. So, over to you, sir. Okay, for that I would like to invite, first of all, our Honorable Mr. Govind Singh Negi, our Global CEO and founder of HR Success Talk, to please kindly come on the stage and accept this token of love from our Honorable Mr. Rath. Thank you, sir. It's a great pleasure to be in your presence, sir. Have a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. It's an honorable moment for us. Thank you, sir. Secondly, I'd like to call Mr. Naganagowda SJ, Chief People Officer, Tally, to please come on the stage and accept this token of love from our organizer, Mr. Rath. Have a big round of applause, guys. We are just heading for the dinner. It's just a matter of few more minutes. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your esteemed presence. Thanks for enlightening us for your power of knowledge, sir. It was an honor for us and a privilege for us to have you with us. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you. I'd like to hand over to Dr. Rath for the next few minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I'll not take much of your time, 2 minutes only. We are all, at the end of the day, placement people. My good friend, Dr. N. Venkata Sastry, who is the main anchor of SRM University now, a close friend, he says, Rath, you grow, go to any optimum level, but at the end of the day, all we are placement officers. We started this journey from Bombay, then we moved into Hyderabad, now we are in Bangalore. But in this edition, what we decided to honor one senior most placement dignitary from the circle where we are doing it. And from Bangalore circle, we have decided unanimously to honor Professor Gurcharan Singh. Sir, can I have you on stage, please? I can see many people from senior HR fraternity, placement, campus heads. If nobody knows this gentleman, then I'll tell you have not done this and you are not into it. So he deserves a standing ovation from all of you, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gurcharan Singh, sir, for your esteemed presence with us. It's our honor to have you in this event.
I think what Dr. Rath said, that at the end of the day, we are all still placement officers. I started my journey about 20 years ago. And I remember I had a very close friend of mine, Professor Anis Mirza, who's sitting here. We both joined the college at the same time. For 6 months, there was no activity on the campus. We were conducting some games and some events for students, but no placements. I decided to take a different strategy. I changed the placement office into an HRD office, a Human Resource Development Office. So you'll find that in every college, wherever I have worked, you'll find the HRD department there, which mainly believes in human resource development. One more thing which my very good friend Nagan Gowda sir said, he gave a story of a student who fell into the well and he came out on his own. That's the same thing I believe in. I can't train anyone. I can give an awareness. I bring in a learning culture. I leave it to the students. If they fall into the well, then they have to get out of it. I believe in punctuality, I believe in sincerity, I believe in dedication, believe in without the industry's support. We must really thank all the industry people who are present here and who are not.
Thank you so much, sir. So without any further delay, let's move on to the felicitation ceremony of our valuable speakers. Without their presence, I really can't think that this event could have been successful. So I would like to invite Ms. Ritu Sharma, Senior Manager, Brilio, to please come on the stage and kindly accept the token of love. Ms. Ritu Sharma. Let's give a big applause, guys. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to call Dr. Debabrata Das, Group Vice President, to please come on the stage and accept our token of love. Kindly give a big applause. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I'd like to call Mr. Siju Chako, our Senior Director of Khata Book. Please come on the stage and accept our token of love. Thank you so much, Mr. Siju. It was a wonderful session with you. We really enjoyed. Thank you, sir. The next token of love, for that I'd like to invite Mr. Jatinder on the stage to present it to Mr. Rahul Chatterjee, our one of the renowned speaker, to please come on the stage and accept our felicitation. Mr. Rahul Chatterjee, thank you so much for your kind words, for your esteemed presence. And now I'd like to call our amazing moderator, Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra, to please come on the stage and accept our token of love. Thank you so much, Surya sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jatinder, sir. To present the next token of love, I'd like to invite Mr. Subrata, the Vice President of Karnataka Chapter, HR Success Talk, to please come on the stage and present our token of love to Miss Reshmi Menon. Reshmi Menon, ma'am, please come on the stage and accept our love. It's very honorable to have you in our today's panel discussion. Let's give a big round of applause, guys. Thank you so much, Reshmi ma'am. It was an honor to be with you. The next, I would like to call Mr. Arif Khan to please come on the stage and accept our token of love. Thank you, Arif, sir. It was a valuable and wonderful session with you. Thank you, Arif, and thank you, Subrata sir, for presenting this token of love. Now I would like to call Mr. Govind Singh Negi onto the stage to present the next token of love to one of our renowned speaker, Mr. Yatish Shivaprasad. Mr. Yatish Shivaprasad, please come on the stage and accept our token of love. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us for today's event. It was an honor to have you. Thank you so much, Mr. Yatish. And next, last but not the least, I would like to call our moderator, amazing moderator, Mr. Rajeshwar Rao, to have with us on the stage and to accept our token of love. Thanks for accepting, for being a moderator with us for today's panel discussion, sir. Now, I would like to request Mr. Govind Singh Negi to give a vote of thanks to everyone. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Well, vote of thanks means we are coming to the closure of the event. So I'm very bad in vote of thanks, so I thought to write down the names. So first of all, thanks to everybody here. That was an amazing event, talking from L&D, then having a conversation on L&D, and then going through AI. I would like to thanks, first of all, the MMU management team here, which has made this event possible in collaboration with HRST. And I think that was one of the important occasion when we come together and collaborated as one team. I would also like to thank Dr. Rath and Jatinder and his team for all the hard work they have put in at the back to make this event a great success. From our HRST team, I think the list is a little longer. So I would like to thank Deepti Korane, who is the country head for India, Nimisha, who is the state president for Karnataka, Subrata, who is the vice president of Bangalore, Nipun for being a great host. Thank you very much for all the great work you have done today. Isha Gaur, who is our manager for conference, Danish, Vatsalya, Tushara Ashok, social media team, Harsh Gupta, and anyone else which I missed. You guys have done a fantastic job. This is a hard work of more than 2 months, which you see here today at the ground. So thank you very much, everyone who is listening us, and also our audience who is listening us live. Thank you very much for being with us for that time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Over to you, Nipun.
Thank you so much, Mr. Govind, for this insightful vote of thanks. Now I would like to invite Dr. Rath to present the vote of thanks to our delegates and our special guests. Dr. Rath, please, over to you, sir. Give a big applause, guys.
एक बहुत महसूस कहावत है, फोटोग्राफर हर किसी का फोटो उठाता है, लेकिन उसी का फोटो कोई नहीं खींचता. Okay. So, many thanks to all of you from the core of the heart. My young team, Jatinder, Manasa, Vivek, Santosh, Sunil, Samriddhi, Abhishek, and my entire backend team, which is seeing this event live from Mulana and various parts of the country. We are live in this session from the last couple of hours. And many thanks to all speakers, delegates, all moderators, very good friend Govind Singh Negi and his team. Before I end, there is a small token of appreciation on Partner Award. I would like to invite Jatinder Sadana from my team to do the honor to HR Success Talk team, please. Jatinder. Can other team members of HR Success Talk join us on the podium, please? Get it. Thank you all. Now, I would like to request Mr. Govind Singh Negi and to do the honor for MMDU. And I would like to request the entire corporate relationship of MMDU to come on dais, please.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, MMDU team. It was a great event which happened under your assistance. Since we are coming to the end of the event with gratitude being expressed, I'd like to invite all the special guests, speakers, and everyone today on the stage to gather for a group picture. Request all the dignitaries to please come on the stage for this last time and please have the group picture with us.
Yeah, we can have a group picture. And after this, please join us for dinner.
Yes.
And it's a cocktail one. Thank you all.
We have made at this HR conclave, and hence it's time for some delightful dinner and drinks ahead. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and I would like to thank each and every one of you to make this event successful. Thanks.
Before we leave for dinner, I request each and everyone to come on the stage for a group photograph. Everyone, please proceed to the stage for a group photograph. Thank you.
one more minute. We had this surprise for the best question asked by our delegates to the panelists. So we have chosen that and we have arranged few. I'd like to announce the names. The first best question, the goodie goes to Yashna Mukherjee. I'd like to request him to please come on the stage and accept the goodies. Miss Yachna Mukherjee, can I have her on the stage, ma'am? And there is a question, the person hasn't mentioned his name. I'd like to read the question. Please, whosoever has asked this question, please come on the stage. This is the last one. Mr. Nagaraj, thank you so much. It was a nice question which has been chosen by our panelist. Today's digital learning with Way Forward, how is it taking care of your skill gap? What are the challenges you are facing? I'd like to request the person who have asked this question, please come on the stage and collect your goodies. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I would like to know your name, sir. Mr. Chirag Chakravarti, Irak Chakravarti, thank you so much, sir. This was a nice question asked by you, chosen by our moderator. Please accept our goodies. Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy dinner.